Absolutely. I have photographic evidence, by the way.
You were staying there at the time the truck was parked for 3 days?
Yeah. But I have...
Something tells me you weren't.
Well,
Mr. Letterman actually was in New York, Your Honor, at that time.
Were you in New York, Mr. Letterman?
Oh, all right, damn it.
That is...
My case is, Your Honor, that Mr. Letterman suffered no actual damages whatsoever.
I have photographic evidence right here, by the way.
When were those photographs taken?
These pictures were taken 4/22/86, 4 days after I asked for my truck to be returned. I asked if it could be returned that evening and was told laughingly that it would have to wait till Tuesday.
All right.
So they could do some of this wonderful body work on it.
Who took these pictures, Mr. Letterman?
I took those pictures.
You didn't take the one of yourself,
Yeah,
did
I'm
you?
just testing the camera.
Does he look like this?
Yeah, no, it's a common practice among comedians, Your Honor, to play practical jokes and stunts from time to time. It's almost an internecine thing that comedians do. This is, at worst, is a practical joke, and Mr. Letterman suffered no actual damages whatsoever.
What other damage did you suffer, Mr. Letterman, other than this headlight that you allege?
I didn't get to use the truck for 4 days. I use it on the weekends. I take it down to San Diego and bring some friends over the border.
There's no proof, Your Honor, that the truck is even in operating condition or actually runs.
I could go on for a long time, gentlemen, and I'm sure you have other evidence to present, but I think I've probably heard enough, so I'm going to take a short recess, and I'll come back and give you my decision.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Fair enough.
We'll be right back with the judge's decision.
You may be seated, gentlemen. I don't know if you can take this unless you're sitting down. Let me tell you first that by taking the car, Mr. Carson, you did it because it was a nuisance. That's what you're alleging. If it was truly a private nuisance, you can abate the nuisance. If it's on public property, which it was. If it wasn't a nuisance and you abated it using self-help, you're guilty of conversion. If you're guilty of conversion, you're liable for damages.
There you go. Conversion. If I've ever seen a converter, it's this guy.
Mr. Letterman, it's my turn.
I'm sorry. I lost my head. Forgive me.
He's lucky I'm not a comedian. I could have said something.
Yes.
A nuisance is defined as something that is injurious to health or is indecent or offensive to the senses or something that interferes with a comfortable enjoyment of life or property.
All of those.
It's not a very pretty sight. It's not a very pretty truck, but I must agree with Mr. Letterman that it's not a nuisance.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's not a nuisance.
Oh, thank God.
When we say
Thank
it's
the Lord.
offensive, it has to be offensive to a reasonable person and not just offensive to Johnny Carson. Now,
Thank you. Thank you.
by that I don't suggest, sir, that you're not reasonable. I say it's an objective standard. It's a reasonable man standard. It's not, or a reasonable woman standard.
Yes.
So you didn't have any right to take the truck. You did. You did it as a practical joke, perhaps as a gag. But the light was damaged, and from the evidence that I've heard, it's probably damaged in your possession. Therefore, I find that you're liable to Mr. Letterman in the sum of $24.95.
Oh, $24.95?
Yes. And the stakes go back to Mr. Letterman.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you very much.
You can have the stakes.
Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you very much.
Well, you've reached a decision, and we have to We both agreed to abide by this decision. There's no appeal, right?
That's right. You signed an agreement that you would be
And
bound.
so there is $25.
Thank you very
You owe
much.
me 5 cents.
I have it right here. Thank you very
And,
much. Thank you.
I
very
realize you're an honest judge because a lot of people were saying because you were on the Tonight Show, you would probably rule in my favor.
Yeah.
But you ruled in me.
Who would say a thing
Well,
like that?
some of my staff who've got a lot of explaining to do after this is over. I thought this was a lock if there ever was one. Judge Wapner, thank you so much for being with
Pleasure.
us. We enjoyed having you. Come back and see us. David,
John,
thank
thanks.
you. No, I'm sorry. You got your money. We'll see you soon. Good night.